Welcome Park Facebook group for the tip of the week. This week we're going to talk about making good, clean miters. With me I have John Schuler, our sales application engineer and one of our in-house experts on all things park machines. And he's going to help us walk through some of them high-level, simple things that you would need to do and need to account for to have good miters. John, looking at our table, would you consider this table in good shape?
Hey guys. No, Joe. I would say the right-hand side of this table looks good. The left-hand side over here, you can see that we have some slats that need replacing. And wherever you see that rubber sticking up, we're going to want to replace at least parts of that.
So on the rubber slats, one of the biggest take-homes I can leave you with today is, here's a box of the rubber slats. It's part number 68300. There's 20 slats in there. It takes about 50 something on here. So to do a whole table, it takes 3 boxes. These slats, you know, that whole box of 20 is about 200 bucks. Not terribly expensive, but they're heavy. This box is really heavy. As you can see when I move it, it takes some effort. Shipping ground for one of them boxes is about $45. Shipping air freight, if we had 3 of them, it might be $1,000. So if you're in a pinch, you need these slats, that you're just in a bad spot. You're burning money, you're handing money to UPS, which, you know, great, they do a job. It's a necessary thing we have, but please have these slats local on your shelf. You're gonna need them. Using a water jet or even a saw for that matter, you're gonna wear the slats out. They're gonna be, or the slat covers, they're gonna be shot. There's also the slat in there. We stock the slat. We also know that the metal slats are kind of big and awkward. They're hard to get to you. Our customer service people will help you get a print to have them made locally. And then lastly, there's the slat holder in there. Them are pretty critical that we get them to the right size, shape, machined to the right dimension. So we recommend you buy them from Park. We have them on the shelf. We can get them to you. But again, them slat holders are pretty good sized and they're heavy. So we want to plan ahead. Don't let these things be an emergency. John's going to walk you through some of our self-help guides. We have a guide out there for any Park water jet machine to do good miters. It kind of takes you through them basic steps. John, what other things would you look for in the setup of the machine to make sure we get good miters?
Sure. So here we have a guide. I believe it's on this video here. You can see the link. So correcting miter cut issues. You're going to see anything from using the height sensor on your table to make sure everything is level. Making sure your Z offset on your table is correct. And you're checking your blade diameter. So check it out if you're having any problems with miters. What Joe was talking about earlier too, the table, it's more than about miters, it's about porcelain and other thinner materials too. You want a flat surface, so taking care of your table is going to help with that.
John, what about chipping? What happens if what would you recommend looking at if you see some chipping on your miters?
So chipping could be the table too, and not having a flat surface and having a lot of vibration. Oftentimes chipping though is just the material itself. You'll see that in different materials. Quartz will be nice and smooth, good finish on the top line. While you go to quartzite, you're going to see a lot of chipping. Having the right combination of RPMs and feed rate is certainly going to help, and also making sure you have a close segmented blade when you're doing your miters.
So you talk about a blade and different materials. Do you find often that miters go downhill when people change blades and forget to change the parameters in their control system?
I would say that's my number one, usually the problem that I hear. So we could dig down and keep on looking for what the issue is, but it turns out it was a simple problem by not updating your HMI screen or your advanced setup screen with the correct parameters for that blade. So your diameter is going to change, your kerf is going to change, and where that segmented is located in relation to the arbor motor, that's going to change as well. So you want to update that.
So speaking of blades, if you're running the same type of material, not changing your blade for weeks on end, you're doing a lot of cutting, does that diameter change? Would you want to change the overall diameter and whatnot day to day or hour to hour, week to week, whatever that would be?
Yep. So that's one of our daily maintenance tasks. We've got to check our blade diameter every day. We say that, and it's very critical for miters. If we want it to be dimensionally accurate, that's what we need to do. Other things that I'd like to point out, one of my tricks, I don't have to recheck everything. I usually print this out so I know for each blade exactly what settings I have.
Very good, John. Thank you for your insight. maybe in closing, are there any other just, maybe not a sequence of event type troubleshooting tips and tricks you have, but just, hey, every once in a while it's this and it might be out of left field that you can give our followers?
Yep. So again, most of the time I find out it's the blade switching and usually not entering the parameters. You don't have to struggle with it. Give us a call. We get them all the time. We can help you out. Most of the time it's a very easy issue.
Well, again, like John says, our customer service people are here all the time. We have a 24/7 phone. We're happy to walk you through. If you're having troubles, just give us a call. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. We would love to answer a couple questions, either live or shortly after the video. The other thing we would like to see in the comments is what tips might you want to see in the future? We'll gladly go through whatever it is you think that, I struggle with this a little bit and it maybe doesn't need to be so difficult. We'll happily take them topics. Again, in closing, one of the biggest things I can impart upon you people, make sure you have these rubber strips on the shelf. They're expensive to overnight. We get requests to overnight them quite often, and I know our parts and customer service people are like, are you really sure you need to overnight them? They know it's going to be expensive. We want to help you operate as efficiently as possible and have good quality products. So have these on the shelf. A box sitting there is never going to be a bad thing. Again, thank you for your time. We enjoy doing these tips of the week, and through the comments, let us know what other tips you would like us to do. Thank you.